we're going to import a file, and to do that we'll go up to File, we'll go into Import Assistant and Import to IDEA. The file that we're going to import is a text file, so we'll leave it sitting on text, and it will ask me which file do I wish to import. Down here I can give it the file name, and in this case I'm going to look in my samples folder. Sorry, I beg your pardon, the tutorial folder, and pick up sales.txt. I've used the files which come standard with IDEA so that I can be sure that everyone has the same files on hand when we go through the hands-on part. So I'm going to say Next, and it's told me I have a fixed length file. It's analyzed it, and it tells me that's what I think you've got. It's not comma delimited, it's not an IPsodic file. We'll take a look at those later on this morning to determine the differences with those different types of files, bringing them in. Now, in order to make sense of this, you're going to need the file layout, and you have the file layout on your next slide. From where we are at the moment, I can say Next, and it tells me I have a 42 character record. If I want to check that, if I make that 43, you'll see I now have everything sitting at an angle. If I take it down to 41, it's going the other way. It's not a cast iron guarantee, but roughly if things are looking like they're in vertical columns, it's probably got it right. Okay. It can get it wrong depending on the nature of the file. So we'll say Next. And you can see that we're now sitting with a whole pile of vertical lines. As I move the cursor across, you can see up here, it will show me the column I'm in, and it also shows me the hexadecimal value of that field. Okay. You can see there we have a vertical line running at column 2. Now if you look at the file layout, you'll see the first field is the invoice number, which starts in position 1 and runs for 7 characters. So that's in the wrong place. This is IDEA doing its best guess to try and take some of the work off of me as to where the fields actually lie. To remove that, I'll simply double click. If I wish to put it back, a single click puts it back, double click removes it. And I can see I've now got that running out from 1 to 7, which is where it should be. That's my invoice number. My transaction date starts on position 8, which it tells me up here. There's position 8, column 8, and it runs for 8 characters, so it runs out to here. So that line's in the wrong place as well, so I'll remove that one as well. Then comes my payment type, and that's 4 digits, and that's correct. Then comes my salesman, and that's 3 digits. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, so I need a line in there, and I put the line in there. This should be old hat to you because we covered it on the last one. But if you're rusty, let's just go through it together. Then comes my customer number, which runs for 5 characters, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, I need another one in there, another vertical line, field separator. Then comes my product code, which is 2 digits, and then comes my amount. So I'm happy now. I'm sitting with a 7-digit invoice number, 6-digit date, 4 digits payment type, 3 digits salesman, 5 digits customer number, 2 digits product code, and the rest is the amount. If I get it wrong, I can always go back and fix it. But in the meantime, we're happy with that, so I'll say Next. Now it allows me to define each of those individual fields. So the first one I know is my invoice number, and you'll see it says num1, car1, car3, sorry, car2, car3, num4. What it's doing is it's analyzed this and it says that looks like a character field, that looks like numeric. If I look over here, you'll see it says numeric, but if I click on that arrow, these are all the possible permutations because it may have got it wrong. It looks numeric, but it could in fact be a character field. Okay. Now this is a critical point. When you get the information and you get the file layout, it is irrelevant whether these are numbers or not. If they've given you a numeric field, you must define it as a numeric field, and if they give you it as a character field, you must define it as a character field. Being given a character field and wishing it was numeric doesn't make it numeric. You get what you got. We can manipulate it and we can change it from character into numeric, but it has to be defined in the layout that you were given. And you can see we've got character, numbers, we've got dates, we've got ACPAC numbers, ACPAC dates, Benford dates, binary, Burris packed. All of these are possible types of information which you may be given. In this case, we're happy that it's number, so I'm quite happy to leave that as number. It's the invoice number, so there are no decimal places. You can see there, if I left that as a numeric number field, it would be 1 million. If I gave it some decimal places, it would be 1,000,000.00, but we don't have any decimal places, so I'll leave that. The field name, we know, is going to be invoice number, so I'll put in there INV number. And you can see it's now plonked it into there. This is a technical term that I use, plonked. It's inserted the field name. On the next field is character. It's what I want it to be. Or is it? That's actually a date. So we'll change it to transaction date. Oops, not trans date, but trans date. And the type is not character, it's actually a date field. And you can see it's looking for a date mask. We can see it's year, 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 month, month, day, day, and we have that on our file layout. So we'll put that in, year, 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 month, month, day, day. Okay, and it tells us that's what the date will look like. Next field is character. We're happy with that. It should be character. And that's our payment type. The next field is our salesman. Again, it's numeric, which it should be, as per my layout. The next field is again numeric, and that's my customer number. The next one says numeric, and it's my product code. But we know from the file layout, although that looks like a numeric field, it's not. It's actually a character field. Now, why does that matter? It matters because you cannot do arithmetic on a character field. You can on a numeric field. That's probably the most critical part. We'll see as we go through there are other critical elements to that. But that's my product code. It's character. And finally, we have our amount. And it is numeric, and that's correct, but it's got 2 decimal places. If I take that back to 0 again, you'll see on the converted example it's showing the first line as 431, and we know it's 431.28. If I put my decimal places in, there's my 0.28. And when I'm happy with that, then I can move on. Now if I wanted to create another field, I can do that. Let's say, for argument's sake, that we wanted to create an additional field which could be a discounted amount. Oops. Now that field doesn't exist on the record, so it's not going to be a genuine field. It's going to be a virtual field. And what I'm going to do with that virtual field is I'm going to make it 10 characters with a two-digit decimal place. And I'm going to say that's going to be my discount, if I offer it, will be the amount times 0.1. I'm going to give them a 10% discount. Okay. I can add other fields, whatever I want. I didn't need to put in the length itself because it will automatically take that from amount. I can enter an equation to limit the data that's imported so that I can say of everything that's on there, only give me customers above a certain amount or whatever it happens to be. And I can then say next. Having said that, I'll generate some field statistics as we go. You don't have to. If you're not going to use them, then it's a waste of time. But most of the time we will typically use some form of field statistics, so you might as well do it when you're creating the file. And we'll finish on that one. I'm going to replace the file because I already created it last time. And you can see there we have our invoice number, our date, our pay type, salesman, etc. There's the amount, and there's that discount amount that I created.